Uh, just as a note, I wanted to add a curiosity that occurred. I mean, one thing about the beauty of designing your own systems and engineering your own solutions, you get a chance to see how the world really works. It's the way you read a book, the way they tell you in the workplace or whatever, and the way the world really works when you go out there and venture out on your own to figure out how things work. That's where the guts, the glory, and all the risk is. And you got to try it sometimes. Anyway, so I have this Power Bright 3500 watt as opposed to the pure Sine or pure whatever from Grape, the 1800 inverter. And I noticed that I was getting up really early for work. In fact, too early for work. And I couldn't figure out why. Whenever I looked at my clock and rolled over for a couple more hours and got back up, I was still too early for work. It felt good, but I something was wrong. So I went to look at my clock and look at my watch and noticed that there was like a whole 30-minute difference, and which is weird. I mean, why would you have 30-minute difference on a clock that you set? You know, is the clock going bad? Not likely. Well, here's what happened. Come to find out, this 3500 power bright inverter has a funky sync. What's the word? Hertz per second. This sine wave is weird. It's not like the grid. The grid has this 60 hertz, and this is doing something else. And what's happening is it's doing 60. It's producing 60 from your solar panels and battery array. But because of the way it does it, some clocks are reading, which they use mains hertz per second to set their clock, to create their clock. In fact, a lot of people do. Our power grid is so reliable that you can use its cycle per second to power clocks and piggyback off of that to create synchronicity with time in general. And that's how the way the world works, unless you're like me, creating your own power and using an inverter like this, which caused my clock to cycle faster, which in turn made me too early for work, but gave me a great kick as to why my clock in my bedroom was always faster than everyone else. It wasn't a warp zone. There wasn't a black hole in my living room. It was the fact that I was producing my own power, and the grid's cycles per second is different than the grids on this solar panel array, which I'm creating my own power. It's just an interesting curiosity. Here's an example. Here's an example of what I was talking about. You see this clock? I reset the breaker, reset the power from the solar array, and this is how it flashes now. This is telling you that you need to set the clock time. You've seen this before, but look how fast it's going. That's because the cycles on that inverter are a little bit faster than the mains. So interesting.